Namaskar. Dear friends, today we shall discuss another important chapter. The title of this story is My Greatest Olympic Prize. This has been written by Jessie Owens. Who this Jessie Owens was? Jessie Owens, my dear friends, was an American athlete who participated in track and field events and sprints. Sprints are those events where you run energetically with a lot of energy and that too at a great speed. For example, 100 meters races, 200 meters races. Now, these are the kinds of races where you need a lot of energy and where you run at a great speed. Now, Jesse Owens participated in the 1936 Olympic Games, which were held in Berlin, Germany. And he won 4 gold medals there. One in the 100 meters, in 200 meters, in long jump, and he was also a member of the 4 into 100 meters race. So in all these 4 events, he won gold medals. He writes in this particular story how he struck friendship with, how his friendship began with another athlete whose name was Luz Long. He didn't know much about Luz Long. Before that, he met Luz Long for the first time during the games, and how both of these athletes struck a friendship. ଦି ଜଣ ଯାକ କେମିତି ସାଙ୍ଗ ହେଲେ, that is the story. And which one is the greatest Olympic prize? He talks about he won 4 gold medals there, and he says, my friendship was much more valuable than these 4 gold medals that I won. And why he says that? How they came to become friends? Let us find out in this particular story. It was the summer of 1936. The Olympic Games were being held in Berlin, in Germany. Because Adolf Hitler, the Chancellor, childishly insisted that his performers were members of a master race, nationalistic feelings were at an all-time high. Now, usually, all of you know that the Olympics, Olympic Games are the highest games. They are accorded, they are given the topmost priority. Only the best athletes of each country get an opportunity to participate in these events. So a lot of importance is attached to these events. So this time in 1936, the games were being played at Berlin in Germany. And usually when the players leave to play the games, to participate in the games, the head of the country meets them. Even our Prime Minister meets the players and he talks to them. He encourages them. So on that occasion, what happened? The Chancellor of Germany met the players and he said that his players were the best in the world because they were members of a master race. So Hitler believed that their players represented a race that were the best. Now, this is a reference to Hitler's Nazi theory. Now, what was this Hitler's Nazi theory? Hitler believed that the Aryan race to which his countrymen belonged to were the best. So his athletes were the best in the world. Now, so obviously, suppose I say India is the best. our players are the best. Obviously, there will be a lot of nationalistic feeling. They will feel very excited. They will try their best to work for the country, to win medals for the country. So this was the period, this was the time when the games were being played. So the Hitler childishly insisted that his performers were members of a master race. Nationalistic feelings were at an all-time high. Feelings for the country, that I am going to represent my country and I must give my 100%. I must try my best to win a medal so that I can prove my superiority. If I am the best, I must be better than others. And I must prove it. I must prove through what I am doing that I belong to a master class, I belong to a master race, that I belong to a superior race, that I am the best, and I must prove it through whatever I do. Jessie Owens says, I was not much worried about all this. Are ପିଲାମାନେ ତୁମେ ପରୀକ୍ଷା ଦେବାକୁ ଯାଉଛ. Suppose you are going to write the plus 2 examination. Your father is very happy. Why is your father very happy? Your father says, ଆରେ ମୁଁ ଆଜି ସକାଳୁ ମୋ ଝିଅକୁ ବା ମୋ ପୁଅକୁ 100 ଗ୍ରାମ ବସା ଦହି ଖାଇବାକୁ ଦେଲି. It is usually believed ଯେ ଯଦି ଦହି ଖାଇକି ଯିବ ପରୀକ୍ଷାକୁ ତାହେଲେ ପରୀକ୍ଷା ଭଲ ହେବ. ଯଦି ଦହି ଖାଇଦେଲେ ପରୀକ୍ଷା ଭଲ ହଉଥାନ୍ତା, ସମସ୍ତେ ଆମେ ସକାଳୁ କିଛି କିଛି ଦହି ଖାଇ ଦିଅନ୍ତେ, ପରୀକ୍ଷାରେ ଭଲ ହେଇଯାନ୍ତା. Hard work has no meaning. Working throughout the year, it has absolutely no meaning. So simply Jessie Owens is saying I was not worried about all this. Why he was not worried about all this? Jessie Owens says, because I had trained, sweated and disciplined myself for 6 years. Jessie Owens is saying, I had trained myself, I had gone through rigorous training process, very difficult training process, very hard training process. I had trained myself, disciplined myself, I had led a disciplined life. I had sweated, I had worked hard. Here the meaning of sweated is worked hard. So I had worked hard for the last 6 years. So ଜଣେ ବର୍ଷ ସାରା ପରିଶ୍ରମ କରିଥିବ ଆଉ ଜଣେ ଦହି ଖାଇକି ପରୀକ୍ଷାକୁ ଆସିବ. ତେଣୁ ତୁମେ ଯଦି କହିଦବ simply if I go on saying we are the best, suppose the prime minister of the country or the president of the country, the head of the country says, oh, you are the best athletes, go and conquer the world, go and win any competition, you are the best, you will win. Are they going to win any prizes for that? Are they going to win any medals? Because this is not how you win medals. Okay, if somebody inspires you, you perform a little better, but it doesn't mean this is the only way you win your medals. ତେଣୁ ଖାଲି କହିଦେଲେ କ'ଣ ହେଇଯିବ? ଦହି ଖାଇଦେଲେ ଯଦି ପରୀକ୍ଷାରେ ସକ୍ସେସ୍ ହଅନ୍ତା ଆସନ୍ତା, ତାହେଲେ ସମସ୍ତେ ଦହି ଖାଇକି ପରୀକ୍ଷାକୁ ଯାଆନ୍ତେ. ହାର୍ଡୱାର୍କ କାହିଁକି କରନ୍ତେ? ଡେଡିକେସନ କାହିଁକି ହଅନ୍ତା? ଡିସିପ୍ଲିନ କାହିଁକି ରହନ୍ତା? ଏଇସବୁର ଭାଲ୍ୟୁ ତାମାନେ କିଛି ନାହିଁ. I became successful simply because I ate some curd in the morning. No, that is not done. So, Jessie Owens is saying, I had disciplined myself for the last 6 years. I had worked very hard. I had sweated. I had gone through rigorous training, very difficult training with the games in mind. So I had been practicing very hard for the last 6 years. So if some chancellor said you are the best, how they can be the best? So I will also give a tough fight because I had prepared myself for that. While I was going over on the boat, all I could think about was taking home 1 or 2 of those gold medals. I was going to participate in a number of events, and when I was going by the boat or by the ship, all the time I was thinking about how I can win a few medals. I had my eye especially on the long jump. I was a little confident about the long jump event. At least I could win one medal here. Why he was very confident? What had he done before that? A year before, as a university student, I had set the world record of 26 feet 8 and a quarter inches. That far I had jumped in that university event. At a university level, I had jumped 26 feet 8 and a quarter inches, and that was a world record. So if I could set a world record a few days before the games, this gave me hope that I was going to win a medal at least in this field, in the long jump event. Everyone kind of expected me to win that Olympic event hands down. So at least, you know, this was one of those events in which I was surely going to win one of the events, hands down, without much trouble, without anything to bother about. I was not, without any problem, I was going to win. I was very comfortable. I was reassured. I felt confident. I felt comfortable that this was one event in which I was going to win at least one gold medal. But when I reached there, I was in for a surprise. Something happened that made me surprised. When the time came for the long jump trials, usually what happens? Best athletes from all countries participate in the Olympic events. I have already told you that. So when all these athletes gather, they conduct the trials. So there is they set a basic limit. এই নির্দিষ্ট দূরতা তুমি যদি জম্প করে পারিব তাহলে তুমি উইল গো টু দ্য ফাইনালস। কারণ ফাইনালে সপোজ 70 জন থিবে তাহলে তো ইট উইল টেক এ লং টাইম। The event will take a long time to happen. ତେଣୁ ସେମାନେ କ'ଣ କରନ୍ତି? Usually they conduct the trials after the those who qualify the trials, they go to the final events. So the trials were happening. I was startlingly surprised to see a tall boy hitting the pit. Pit is where the long jump event takes place. Usually there is sand. There is a lot of sand, and the athletes run from those who participate in the long jump event. They run from a long distance and then they jump. There is a board. Just before the board, they have to jump into the pit. Pit is that hole in which there is sand. They jump into that. Now, he turned out to be a German. There was one athlete who was consistently hitting the 26 feet. तो ये वर्ल्ड रिकॉर्ड करछन्ती 26 feet यूनिवर्सिटी गेम्स रे 26 feet 8 and a quarter inches. That was a university, that was a world record for university games. There was another athlete who was constantly hitting the 26 mark, and that too very easily. 26 feet टाको पूरा एकदम तमे जदि practice रे 26, usually practice रे nobody gives a lot of effort. Nobody puts a lot of effort. Kind of they save their energy for the finals. Practice tare tume kona it's a tamuko you have to just cross the qualifying mark so that you can go to the finals. And this young athlete was constantly hitting the 26 feet mark. I was told, and who was he? Who was this athlete? He was a German whose name was Luz Long. I was told that Hitler had kept him under wraps. What is the meaning keeping somebody under wraps? Not disclosing anything about him, to keep something secretly. So Hitler had kept this young athlete under cover Secretly, he was grooming this athlete. Secretly, he was preparing this athlete so that he could come out as a surprise. क्रिकेट रे तमे देखिथिबो आजिकली क्रिकेट रे टेक्नोलोजी रो बहुत यूज होची तेणु सपोज ए बॉलर इज बॉलिंग सम बॉल्स व्हिच द बैट्समैन फेल्स टू अंडरस्टैंड तेणु सबु कंट्री रे वर्तमान टेक्नोलोजी रो हेल्प निया हलानी देयर आर टेक्नोलोजी एक्सपर्ट्स से माने कहबे देखंतु तार हाफ फिंगर टा एमती रहिला तो ए बॉल टा एटा ऑफ स्पिन हबो एटा लेग स्पिन हबो ए बॉल एमती से बॉलिंग गला माने ए बॉल टा लेग स्पिन हम एमती बोलिंग गला माने तार फिंगर रो मूवमेंट जदि एमती हला ताले एटा ऑफ स्पिन हम ताले आगुरु जदि बैट्समैन जानि गला ताले पोजीशन ऑफ द फिंगर्स और मूवमेंट ऑफ द फिंगर्स रु से गेस कर दबो अकॉर्डिंगली ही विल प्रैक्टिस तेणु हिटलर कोन करचंती ताको लुचे की रखिचंती ता विषय विशेष किसी नोबडी नोज एनीथिंग अबाउट हिम सो दिस यंग एथलीट लूज लॉन्ग was a surprise. His participation was a surprise, and he was constantly reaching the 26 hit mark. 26 suppose तमरा किसी सेतरे करा हेतिबो से ट्रायल गेम्स रे ट्रायल इवेंट्स रे जे तमे 26 मार्क ऊपर को जो माने लेइबे से माने दे विल क्वालिफाई फॉर द फाइनल्स evidently hoping he would win the jump. So naturally everybody you are participating in the Olympic Games. Every country wants to win the gold medal. You bring a lot of laurels to the country. The name and fame of your country spreads. The Olympic event is the medal by Allah. So you are the best in the world. So everybody wants to be the best. Every country wants to produce best people. Best athletes. So Hitler had kept this particular person. He was grooming him secretly, silently. Nobody knew much about him. I supposed that if long on, it would add some new support to the Nazis' Aryan superiority theory. जदि दही खाई कॉलेज को आसीथिबा पिला exam रे 100 marks score kala in that particular paper, what would be proved? That if you want to be successful in the exams, eat some curd in the morning. जति से जीती गला एटा प्रूव हिजो that what was going to if lose long won that event, it would be proved that the Aryan superiority theory that Chancellor Hitler believed was true, that their country produced the best athletes. Their athletes belong to a superior race. So they could win any event they participated in. So this was going to be proved. He didn't want, Jessie Owens didn't want that. This theory must be proved. Proved to be true. जेटा सत्य कथा तांको एथलीट माने they belong to a superior race. After all, I am a Negro. I am a black American, Native American descent. I belong to a race who are called Negroes, African American Negroes. A little hot under the collar. How he must have felt then? He must have felt very embarrassed. He must have felt very angry with the theory that Hitler was propagating, Hitler was spreading, or Hitler believed in. So he was very angry. Who was angry? Jessie Owens was very angry. So a little hot under the collar, he was angry and embarrassed about Hitler's ways. I determined to go out there and really show Adolf Führer. Who is Adolf Führer? The head of a country. Here in this case, it is Hitler. So Adolf Führer usually refers to Hitler. This one refers to Hitler. that I was going to prove him wrong. So I was going to, he becomes determined. He says, my athletes belong to a superior race, so they can win an event. I have disciplined myself, I have trained myself, I have undergone rigorous training, I have sweated, I have worked very hard for the last 6 years. So, no matter what happens, I am going to give a very strong fight. So, Jesse Owens decides to prove Adolf Hitler wrong. Sir, ଆପଣ ଯାହା କହୁଥିଲେ, this is wrong. So I determined to go out there and really show Darth Führer and his master race who was superior and who was not. So, sir, I am going to give you a very strong fight, and I will not allow your athletes to win easily, because if they win easily, this Aryan superiority theory will be proved correct, will be proved 100% right. So let us go to the next section now. An angry athlete is an athlete who will make mistakes. Any coach will tell you that. If an athlete becomes angry, he will make mistakes. Jesse Owens was very angry at the theory that Hitler had propagated or spread or made his people believe. I was no exception. Jesse Owens says, I was very angry, so I was making mistakes. On the first of my three qualifying, there were to be three times you had to jump, three qualifying jumps. You had to jump 3 times, and the best one was to be taken into account. When he jumped for the first time, I leapt from several inches beyond the takeoff board. Takeoff board is the place from where you jump. There is a line. A line is drawn. If you toss that line, it is a foul. It's a no jump. Means you are unsuccessful. This will be counted as no jump. So the first of the jumps, 3 jumps, what happened? I leapt. Leapt is jumped. I jumped several inches beyond the takeoff board. So Jesse Owens says, I was very angry, so I was very agitated. I didn't have a peaceful, calm and quiet mind. So I jumped several inches beyond after the takeoff board. So it was a no jump because he has fouled. Takeoff board cross kariକି se ପାଦ ପକେଇଛନ୍ତି. So it was a no jump. On the second jump, when he jumped for the second time, I was even worse. The worst thing happened. Now, when the second jump was also declared a no jump, Jesse Owens was a little perturbed. He was a little worried. He was a little disturbed. He asked himself a question. What was that question? Did I come 300 miles for this? अरे तुम्हें क्रिकेट खेलुच इंटरनेशनल लेवल रे तमर सिलेक्शन हेची तमे बैटिंग करिया को गलो यू डोंट नो हाउ टू होल्ड द बैट इन योर हैंड याठु बळी कि रिडिकुलस जिंस आ कोन हे पारे बैट ता तमे केमिति धरिबो गार्ड केमिति नबो यू डोंट नो तेणु सी से भलिया कथा से आई केम from 300 miles away to participate in these games. And I had, every countryman hoped that I was going to win the medal and that too in this particular event. And during the first 2 jumps, this is how I have fouled and they have been declared no jumps. If the third one is also declared a no jump, then you are out of the competition. Did I come 3000 miles for this? So ମୁଁ ଯଦି 3 ଥର foul jump କରିକି if I return to my countrymen will make fun of me. ମୁଁ ବଞ୍ଚିବି କେମିତି rest of the life? ସମସ୍ତେ ଥଟ୍ଟା କରିବେ ମତେ ଦେଖିଲେ ଏଇ ବାବୁ ଗୋଲ୍ଡ ମେଡାଲ ଜିତିବାକୁ ଯାଇଥିଲେ 3ଟା no jump. So how I was going to survive? To fall in the trials, I thought bitterly. Did I come here to fall in the fail in the trials. So everybody expected me to win a gold medal, and I could not even qualify the trial phases in the trials. Did I come here to fail in the trials and to make a fool of myself? Everybody will laugh at me. Everybody will make fun of me. Did I come here only because of that? What about my dream, the dream that I had seen? What about the challenge that I had decided to give the Germans? So he was feeling very desperate. He was walking a few yards from the feet, from the place where they were jumping into the sand. I kicked disgustedly at the ground because he was very unhappy with himself, very disgusted with himself. Disgusted is unhappy, displeased with himself. Suddenly, I felt a hand on my shoulder. I turned back to look into the friendly blue eyes of the tall German long jumper. And who was there? When I turned back, I was very disgusted with myself. I was very unhappy with myself. I was moving some distance away from the pit. I was kicking the ground in disgust. ଯେମିତି ଗୋଟେ କ୍ୟାଚ୍ ଡ୍ରପ୍ ହେଇଗଲେ ଗୋଡକୁ ପୁରା ଏକଦମ ମାରି ପକାନ୍ତି ସେମିତି ସେ ଫିଲ୍ଡ ଯୋଗୁ ତାର କ୍ୟାଚ୍ ଟା ଖସିଗଲା. So I was very disgusted with myself, very unhappy with myself. So suddenly I felt somebody's hand on the touch of somebody's hand on my shoulders. When I turned back, I saw it was the same German long jumper, Luz Long. He had easily qualified for the finals on his first attempt. And he offered me a firm handshake. Firm is very strong, confident handshake. Jessie Owens, he said, I am Luz Long. He introduced himself. Mr. Owens, I am Luz Long. I don't think we have met. We are meeting for the first time. He spoke English well, though with a German twist to it. German twist. British people speak with a British accent. I speak with an Indian accent. There are many people who speak with different accents, different ways. People of Kerala will speak in a different way. Their pronunciation will be different. So it's quite natural. So he was speaking with a German accent, but he was speaking English well. Glad to meet you, I said. Then, trying to hide my nervousness, I added, how are you? I am fine, he said. Luz Long says, oh, I am fine, thank you. The question is, how are you? Luz Long is asking Jessie Owens, sir, how are you? What has happened to you? You are a world record holder in university games. You constantly hit 26 feet. You have even gone beyond that. कौन है इस तमर? तम पर गोटे वर्ल्ड रिकॉर्ड होल्डर. आ तुमर नो जंप कौन दीटा है गला? What has happened to you? What is troubling you? What is bothering you? What is worrying you? What is the problem with you? So Jessie Owens କାହିଁକି ଭାବିବେ ଯେ ଗୋଟେ ତାଙ୍କ ସହିତ ଯିଏ କମ୍ପିଟ୍ କରିବ ତାଙ୍କ ରାଇଭାଲ ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ କଣ୍ଟ୍ରିର ସିଏ ଆସିକି ତାଙ୍କୁ ଗୋଟେ ଭଲ କଥାଟେ କହିବେ. ଭଲ କଥା କହିବା ମାନେ ଇଏ ହାରିଲେ ସିଏ ଫାର୍ଷ୍ଟ ହେବେ. ତ ସିଏ କାହିଁକି ଭାବିବେ, ଲୁଜ୍ ଲଙ୍ଗ କାହିଁକି ଭାବିବେ ଯେ ଜେସି ଓୱେନ୍ସ ଫାର୍ଷ୍ଟ ହୁଅନ୍ତୁ? ବିକଜ ଅଲିମ୍ପିକରେ ଫାର୍ଷ୍ଟ ହବା it proves that you are the best athlete of the world. Acha, who doesn't want to be the best athlete of the world? Mu second hawau kahin chahibi? Why should not I become first? Tenu mu dekhuchi he is a competitor. To mu mane mane kon bhabibi? Third jump ta bi tar jodi janta okay. Others are jumping 24 feet. Kintu ei lokota mate gote challenge dabo. So ମୁଁ ମନେ ମନେ କ'ଣ ଭାବୁଥିବି, ସେ ଅନସକ୍ସେସଫୁଲ ହେଇଯାଆନ୍ତା ହେଲେ, ସେ ହାରିଯାଆନ୍ତା ହେଲେ, ମୁଁ କାହିଁ ଭାବିବି ସେ ଜିତୁ। So what do you mean? Jesse Owens asked. He said, something must be eating you. So something must be eating you means something must be bothering you. This is an American way of saying that something is bothering you, something is worrying you, something is troubling you, there is some problem. What is it? He said, Luz Long said, proud the way foreigners are when they have mastered a bit of American slang. Slang is a slang is an informal language, informal use of language. You don't find that in literature, but when we speak to each other, we use those slangs. So something must be eating you. This eating you was the slang language. Informal way of saying just something is bothering you, worrying you. What are you troubled by? What is troubling you? You should be able to qualify with your eyes closed. Sir, with the kind of records you have set, 26 feet is a child's play. ତମ ପାଇଁ ଏଇଟା ଗୋଟେ ବଡ଼ କଥା। ତମ ପ୍ରାୟ 26 ଫିଟ୍ ତାପରେ ଆହୁରି 8.25 8.25 ତମେ ଅଧିକା କରିଥିଲ। ତ 26 ଫିଟ୍ ଟା କ'ଣ ପାଇଁ ତମ ପାଇଁ ଗୋଟେ ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ ହଉଛି? ୟୁ ସୁଡ୍ ବି winning with hands down. It is a child's game for you, child's play for you. Yes, sir, you should be qualifying without any problem at all. What is happening to you? Believe me, Jessie Owens said, I know it. I know I should be doing it, but I don't know what is happening. And it felt good to say that to someone. I said, I know. When somebody else is expressing his confidence in you, his faith in you, you feel very confident. ଘରେ ବାପା କହିବେ ତୁ କରୁନୁ, you fail in mathematics, ତୋ ଜୀବନରେ କିଛି ହେଇପାରିବନି। ଏଇଟା ଭଲ ଲାଗେ। ଆରେ ତୁ ପୁରା ମାଥମେଟିକ୍ସରେ ସଦାବେଳେ 90% ରଖୁ, ଆଡିସନଟା ଭୁଲ କରିଛୁ, ୟାର କରେକ୍ସନଟା ତୁ ଭାବୁଛୁ ତୋ ପାଇଁ ଗୋଟେ ବଡ଼ କଥା, and you are losing hope. You can do it. I know you can do it. That gives a lot of confidence. So similarly, Jessie Owens says, when Luz Long came to me and said, what is worrying you? What are you troubled by? You must be winning very easily, hands down. So I worried also. So I felt very confident. For the next few minutes we talked together. I didn't tell Long what was eating me. I didn't tell him that I was angry with the Aryan superiority theory or whatever your chancellor has told. I didn't tell him that, but he seemed to understand my anger. And he took pains to reassure me. Reassure somebody is to make somebody feel comfortable. So he made me feel very comfortable. Although he had been schooled in the Nazi youth movement, he did not believe in the Aryan supremacy business any more than I did. Luz Long did not believe in the theory that his chancellor had propagated. Arey bhai, you can be successful only if you have worked hard, if you have lived a disciplined life, you have sweated, you have put in a lot of effort. So simply because you belong to a race, simply because there is a particular blood flowing through your veins, ସେମିତିରେ କ'ଣ କିଏ ଜିତେ? ସେମିତିରେ କେହି ଜିତନ୍ତିନି। We laughed over the fact that he really looked the part. Really looked the part? Looked perfect or suitable for a particular situation. So, he was an inch taller than I. He was lean. Lean means lean and thin. Lean and somebody who was very tall and thin, muscular, having a lot of muscles. It shows that he had worked very hard on his physique, on his strength for a long time. He had clear blue eyes. He had fair hair. And he was very handsome also. Strikingly handsome. Very handsome. A handsome figure. Luz Long. How Luz Long appeared. And he had a very handsome face. Beautiful face. Finally, Seeing that I had calmed down somewhat, he pointed to the takeoff board. He said, Acha, acha, look at that takeoff board. He said, Acha, why don't you draw a line just a few inches before that? Simply because you are stepping on that board, your jumps are being declared as no jumps. Draw a line a few inches before that. Make it a point to jump from there. You should be qualifying very easily. So you line के draw कर दिया था पूर्वରୁ ଟିକେ board पूर्वରୁ a few inches before the board ଗୋଟେ line ମନେ ମନେ draw କର ଆଉ ସେଇଟାକୁ ମାଇଣ୍ଡରେ ରଖିକି ସେଇଠୁ jump କର. You can qualify very easily. So why don't you draw a line a few inches at the back of the board and aim at making your takeoff from there? Why don't you take off from there? Jump from there. You will be sure not to foul. Now that you have this line in your mind, you will not be touching that second line, jota foul line. So foul line tame jump karibani. This will not be called a no jump. You certainly ought to jump far enough to qualify. I have a lot of confidence in you. I know you can jump the minimum distance, the qualifying distance very easily. You are a world-class athlete. I know nobody becomes world-class, just like that. So I know you have put a lot of effort. I know you have worked very hard. I know you are qualified to become successful. So you can jump very easily. What does it matter if you are not the first in the trials? Are bhai trial re first hele, you will go to the finals. Trial re sixth hele, you will go to the finals. What is the most important thing in the trials? You qualify the minimum, distance that is set for the finals. जे तुम्हें 26 फुट की 25 फुट की 24 फुट डेले ता ऊपर को डेले, you will go to the finals. Trial रे तमे first हेलो कि second हेलो कि third हेलो, how does it matter? Practice game रे you score a century, does it matter? So when you go to play for India, you score a century. That is the most important thing. So tomorrow we have the finals. How you perform in the finals is very important. It's not important how you perform in the, whether you stand first in the trials or not. Tomorrow is what counts. Tomorrow is the most important day in our lives. So suddenly all tension seemed to ebb out of my body, flow out of my body. Jessie Owens is saying, when I heard this, the tension that was there, the anger that was there, it flowed out. It subsided. It decreased. I felt very good. I felt cool now. As the truth of what he said hit me. So I understood what he was trying to point out. He was saying qualify for the finals. That is more important. Trials re first he gale kon duniya ta ulti jibo. You go to the finals and there you win or lose. That is important. So just qualify. Just try to qualify. Jadi few inches कम बेसी ହେଇଗଲା कोनटा असुविधा ହେଇଯିବ. So confidently I drew a line a full foot behind the board. He had asked me to draw a line a few inches behind it. But I felt so confident. I drew a line a full foot behind it, behind the takeoff board. जो to jump ta karibo. And I proceeded to jump from there. I qualified with almost a foot to spare. Suppose 23 feet रखा ହେଇଥିଲା, ମୁଁ आराम से 24 foot jump କରିଗଲି, a foot to spare. But I jumped it very easily. I crossed the distance very easily without any problem. So look at, what the writer is trying to tell you. That in spite of belonging to a country which was a rival country, lose long, was trying to prove that the game was important. If somebody is struggling, you help him. If somebody is not finding the right way, you help him. Friendship is more important. Now, if you participate in the Olympic Games, it proves that you are the best athlete in the world. If you win, it's a bonus. But even if you are selected to participate in the World Games, in the Olympic Games, it proves that you must be one of the best athletes in the world. Second class athletes cannot go there. Only the best will participate and will represent their countries. So let us go to the third part of this story. That night I walked over to Luz Long's room. The trials were over. I had been selected for the finals. So Jessie Owens must be thinking, अरे बाबा जदि Luz Long आज नथान्ते तो मु कौन होइथान्ते मु तो आज पूरा एकदम मो करियर खत्म हो जाइथान्ता. So that night I walked over to Luz Long's room in the Olympic village. You know, all those athletes who come from different countries, they live in Olympic village. You know, special buildings are constructed for them and they live there only. I went there to thank him. I knew that if I had not been there, I probably would not be jumping in the finals the following day. I knew this. If Luz Long had not given me that piece of advice, I would not be there in the finals the next day. I knew that. I realized that. So I went to his room to thank him. Luz Long, thank you very much. We sat in his quarters, talked for about 2 hours about track and field, the events in which we participate. We talked about ourselves. We didn't know much about ourselves. Luz Long को first time पे Jessie Owens meet कले से field रे. So they didn't know much about each other. We talked about the world situation and dozens of other things and many other things. When I finally got up to leave after about 2 hours, we both knew that a real friendship had been formed. Acha, Luz Long displayed a characteristic, a quality, which you may say, which you may term as selfishness. He could have become selfish. Mu jitibi, why should I help somebody else to win? You know, he could have become selfish. He must have thought about himself. But he didn't think about only himself. He thought about another person. When I finally got up to leave, we both knew a real friendship had been formed. Luz would go out to the field the next day, trying to beat me if he could. But I knew that he wanted me to do my best, even if that meant my winning. Okay, the one who performs better tomorrow will become the winner. If it is if I perform my best, I'll be the winner. If it is you who performs better, you will be the winner. So ମୁଁ ଯଦି ରାତିରେ ବସିକି ତୋର କାଲି ଖରାପ ହଉ, ତୋର କାଲି ଖରାପ ହଉ, ତୋର କାଲି ପରୀକ୍ଷାରେ ଖରାପ ହଉ, ତୁ ଯେତେକ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ପ୍ରିପେୟାର କରିଛୁ ସବୁ ଯାକ ନ ପଢୁ, ମୁଁ ଯାହା ପ୍ରିପେୟାର କରିଛି ସବୁ ପଢୁ, ମୁଁ ଯଦି ଘରେ ବସିକି ଜପ କରିବି କ'ଣ ମୁଁ ସକ୍ସେସଫୁଲ ହେଇଯିବି ନା ସିଏ ହାରିଯିବ? ତ success depends on hard work. That moment, what happens at that particular moment, your mindset, your body, ତମେ ବର୍ଷ ବର୍ଷ ଧରିକି ପ୍ରିପେୟାର କରିଛ, ସେ ଲାଷ୍ଟ ମୋମେଣ୍ଟରେ your body becomes stiff, body gives you pain, you can't give your 100%. ଆମର ସାମାନ୍ୟ ମୁଣ୍ଡ ବିନ୍ଧି ଗଲେ ପରେ ଆମେ ପାଠ ପଢି ପାରୁନେ. So if you are giving, even if you have given your 100%, something might go against you. at that moment itself. Winning depends on a number of things, but hard work is the key. Hard work is the most important thing. So lose long, he also wanted to be the winner, but he was wishing me all the best for tomorrow's event. As it turned out, Luz broke his own past record. And when Luz broke his past record means he had given his best. He had reserved his best for the finals. He had given his best in the finals. So it meant I had to perform better than him to win. So in doing so, he pushed me to the peak performance. I had to give peak highest. I had to perform. I had to give my best. I had to, put up the best performance of my life. If I want to become a winner. तो ମୁଁ ଯଦି ତାଠୁ better ନ କରିପାରିଲି, I lose. But I was determined that I must also give my best. Result ଯାହା ହବ. I remember that at that instant, that moment, I landed from my final jump. The one who set the Olympic record of 26 feet, 5 and a quarter inches. So I jumped. I gave my best. And that was enough to give me my gold medal. So when I had finished my jump, who was there by my side? Luz long बसी ता मुंडो को फटे दियंते नि जमडे ही ओन मु ताको काहे के काली जते से हेल्प कली बोली से आज फाइनल को गला and he won the gold medal. He must be cursing himself. Nah. He was there standing at my side and he congratulated me. Despite the fact that Hitler glared at us, looked at us with angry eyes from the stands. Hitler was there watching the event from the stands. He glared at us, he looked at us with wide eyes, angry eyes. Luz shook my hand hard, and it was not a fake smile with a broken heart. He was not unhappy because everybody knows whoever goes to participate in the Olympic events gives his 100%. At times that 100% works, at times that 100% doesn't work. So time ro khelo bele bele काम करिवो bele bele काम करिवोनी. At times तमे जहाँ prepare करछो question पड़ी जाए जहाँ आउ at some other times तमे जते prepare कले भी you can't be successful मने रहउनी. Now so the most important thing is to prepare yourself best. Give your 100%. Work sincerely. Work hard so that you can become successful one day. So Luz was there standing. Instead of feeling furious at himself, why did I help this person? Because I helped him. He is a winner. He has now won the gold medal. He was congratulating me. And I know it was the congratulation of a well-meaning friend. He was my best friend. You could melt down all the gold medals and cups I have, and they would not be plating the 24-carat friendship I felt for Luz long at that moment. So it was pure friendship. I have won a number of gold medals. You can melt everything. But nothing can match the purity, the selflessness of that 24 carat is what? Without any impurities. 24 carat gold means without any impurities in it. So that friendship didn't have any impurities, didn't have any negative things. It was only full of selflessness. Purity. It was pure, holy, noble, selfless. I realized then too that Luz was the epitome of what Piri D. Coubertin founder of the modern Olympic Games, must have heard in his mind when he said, epitome of something, the best example of something, incarnation of something. Rue. What did D. Coubertin said? Who is Pierre de Coubertin? He is the founder of the modern Olympic Games. He said once, the important thing is the Olympic Games is not winning, but taking part. Winning is good, but taking part or participating in the event and giving your 100%, that is more important. Participation is more important than winning. If you participate, you give your 100%, you learn discipline. By participating, you can also learn many things. If you are a winner, that's bonus. That's an advantage. But participation is the most important thing. The essential thing in life is not conquering, not winning, but fighting well. You fight with the spirit of the game in your mind. Honesty, truthfulness, dedication. So if you can learn all these qualities by participating in the events. So participation is more important than winning. And how you play the game, how honestly you play the game, that is more important. Right? So thank you very much. I hope this helps you understanding. In another video, I will discuss the question answers. Thank you. Thank you very much.